All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Once again to another episode of Brick It Up. That's Mike. I'm Jim. Got a lot to talk about. We have some new releases for 2022 and a whole lot of other things. So let's get into it. All right. So for the first topic, we are going to be talking about new releases for 2022. Something I've been excited to talk about. I just haven't had an opportunity. But fortunately, Mike and I will be able to knock some of it out. There's all kinds of sets, and of course, there's all kinds of sets that have yet to be released. But what we're just going to do is we're going to slowly go down the list and go over them carefully. And first up, we have set number 40539, Ahsoka Tano. I think I said that right, Mike. I'm just going to throw it to you first because this seems to be a set that when we were talking about earlier that you're pretty excited about.
Yeah. So I love the Star Wars universe. I'm not one that knows like every little detail, getting in the books and all that stuff. But around the beginning of the pandemic, there's a Clone Wars TV show on Disney Plus, and it's been out for quite a few years. But I decided to start watching it. Watched the episode and was like, I don't like it. But then I went back to it, and it's because it's a cartoon. But the more I watched it, I'm like, man, it's just like watching Star Wars. But it's a cartoon. I mean, there's the violence and all the other stuff or whatever, and all the characters. Funny fact, actually, the guy that does the voice for, I just remember this, the guy that does the voice for Anakin Skywalker actually went to high school with me. Doesn't mean I knew him. I just know he went to high school, and I guess he went to Hollywood, and he's done a couple other things. But I thought that was kind of neat. But I had heard this name of Ahsoka Tano, and I'm like, I don't know who this is. But when I started watching the show, I'm like, dude, why was this character not in the movies? Like such a good character. And now she's got her own show coming out. But yeah, when I heard they were doing this for the number 150 Brickhead, I was very excited about it. And I know other people wanted, I don't know, like Jar Jar Binks or something. I think this set will do really well. You know, I had a guy comment on my channel the other day saying like, will it though? Because a lot of people will buy it up. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people will buy it up, and you're right. It may not do as great as you might want it to, but that can happen with anything. I'm definitely going to buy them, and I think it's a pretty cool little set. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, so I know very little about this character. However, I know that there are a ton of people that are excited about this set. In addition to that, there are a ton of mocks out there, I believe, that I've seen online. So,
there are.
There's a lot of mania, which is great if you're a Lego investor / reseller. Mm-hmm. So this is cool. And it's interesting because the Mandalorian with Child Brickhead, that was, I don't want to say originally slated to be have a production rate of 9 months, but typically that's what the Brickhead sets are. And I'll be curious to see if this is a 9-month run or if this is going to be similar to the Mandalorian with Child and have, maybe a 2.5 year run for this Brickhead set.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see because I wasn't, I didn't know the life cycle that well of the Brickheads. So man, if it is short, that right there is just going to make it that much more wanted, valuable, whatever you want to call it. But I guess I wouldn't go drop all my money on it. But my assumption, we're looking at all the stuff on Brickset is, well, you may have heard, I haven't heard if this will be like in stores outside of Lego. Like, the Mandalorian is in Target, Walmart, but not all Brickheads are like that. So have you heard if this one will be anywhere besides?
But that would, like, if this is just a Target exclusive, that would be so crazy because Target is starting. I mean, there are many big box stores that have exclusive Lego sets, but I think Target has started to set itself apart. And I definitely think that would be crazy if it was just Target and the Lego Shop at Home that had this. And the price is great too, $9.99, right? So if you know what you're doing, you could probably get this set for maybe $7. I'm certain between the release date and when it retires, you could easily get this set for $6 or $7. And that's how you turn $6,000 or $7,000 into $30,000 or $35,000 if you want to use extreme numbers and do the math that way. But it's definitely a clear winner to me, and that's something I'm looking forward to purchasing towards the end of its life.
I hope it will do well. I believe it will, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. So there are two sets that I'm pretty much doing jumping jacks over, and the first one is the Razor Crest Microfighter.
Yeah.
I think I may have said this before. It's similar.
I don't know, man. Have you?
What's that?
I said I don't know. Have you mentioned it?
Have I? I think I have. I don't know. I can't remember yesterday, to be honest. But yeah, this is something I'm just loving right here. There's yet to be a Slave One or a Boba Fett Microfighter, and that's fine. But this is something I'm very excited for. Again, great price point. This is something that I believe will be under the radar for, I would say, at least half of the Lego investors out there, because a lot of them just don't like to look at $10 sets. They want to go for the bright, shiny, $100, $150 sets. And these are sets that should be clearanced eventually too. So I'm really loving that.
So just recently they did it with the Millennium Falcon that's currently out with Han Solo in it. And I mean, I don't remember if everybody but definitely Target. I picked up quite a few of them recently for, I think they had them down to $7. I mean, I didn't go crazy on them, but I bought, a handful of them just to have. I'm with you. I feel like they will do well, but this one right here, just being the hype around the Mandalorian stuff. Now, I don't know if all of the Mandalorian stuff will be winners, but yeah, this one just being cheaper for us to purchase, or for, I guess, anybody to purchase. These Microfighters seem to get up to $30 fairly easy after not much time from what I've seen.
Right. And I would be very surprised if they extended this set like they did the Mandalorian with child Brickheadz. I mean, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, there's just no chance. And of course, now that I say that, Lego's going to do a press release and say that this is going to be a 5-year set. Just like I was wrong about the Home Alone house price, but that's fine. And another set that I'm just doing jumping jacks over now, I'm not sure if you heard about this, Mike. There are rumors that the Wolverine Mech armor set number 76202, that might be delayed or canceled. Did you hear that?
Dude, so I heard this and I got pissed. I'm gonna be honest. More for my own greed. I like that set. I think it's really cool. And like I mentioned, I love Wolverine, but I did hear that from, I don't know how many people on YouTube. What was that, last week or earlier this week? I forget. But it said something to do about, what did they say, that the land people, something to do with structural integrity or something. So I don't know if that means the bricks are bad or I don't know.
Land people, they're the ones that ruined it.
Right. I'm hoping that they're delayed, because they mentioned all three of the mechs, not the bigger Iron Man, but the, what is it, Black Panther, Iron Man, and Wolverine.
Right.
I don't know, or maybe it's somebody mentioned stock issues, or just not having enough for the initial release. Whatever. I'm hoping it's a delay versus a cancellation, because that's kind of weird. Have you seen them bring it up, put it on a website for any kind of set, and then just say, we're scrapping that? I've never seen that, but have you?
So I remember Wally, that I think that was a Lego Ideas set.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why I didn't go deep into Wally. And the reason why that was because they released it and there were a lot of complaints about the weight of the head, and it would just keep on going limp. And what Lego did was, if you, I guess, knew what you could do about it, you could contact Lego, and I think they would ship you 2 or 3 pieces to strengthen the head. So, it's not the first time that Lego has made a design and it's kind of, they had to kind of rethink it. I'm not exactly sure if they're going to do that with this, but they put it out there, man. They have the design. People, I mean, I wonder if people could bricklink the design. Not exactly sure, but it's going to be disappointing if they cancel it altogether. If they postpone it to maybe February 2023. Oh my gosh. Or maybe, October 2022. That would be okay, I guess. But yeah, I was super excited for it. And this is a set, I mean, everybody should know. If you're a Lego investor, it's going to be over hoarded. It's going to be similar to the Mandalorian Battle Pack. And it is what it is. But if you have a lot of passion for that set and you want to grab as much as you can, go for it and see what happens.
I'm hoping that it's delayed, but I guess we'll see. I want to invest in it, but I also want it just for my own collection. So I guess we'll see how that plays out. And I did read an article about the Wally thing, I think the other day, because they're not to get a sidetrack, but there must be some issues with the new AT and being able to move the legs. I mean, I don't want to get into that, but there's an article on Brick Fanatics about that one, and they alluded to the Wally thing previously and something to do with some kind of part of the mechanism with the legs or whatever anyway. Yeah. But I guess people were griping about that one, paying $800 and being a little more difficult to break it down if you wanted to. I think that's what it kind of came down to anyway.
Right. Okay. All right. Next up, we have set number 40524, Sunflowers. Now, I'm bringing this up because I actually like this set. Yeah. And, I'm trying to look at it through a reseller prism, right? I mean, it's a great price. It's $12.99. The Botanical series, and there are other, I want to say sub-themes, but other sets out there that could easily partner with the Botanical series that has done really well. And I definitely think Sunflowers will do well. There are people that I know are just passionate about Sunflowers. I know for myself, this is going to be a little bit too much information, so I apologize. I have been trying to time it right for the last couple of years where I could go into a sunflower patch and take a professional photo with my family. So there is a passion about sunflowers out there. And yes, I'm going to say it. I'm excited about this set. I'm definitely going to grab as many. I don't know about as many as I can, but I want to have a healthy quantity in my brickfolio, if you want to call it that, and then of course make money with it.
Yeah, for sure. So when I first saw these flowers and bonsai tree, that just bouquet, all this flower, whatever you want to call it, stuff, herbiculture, what's the word? I don't even know. But I was like, seriously, what is this? But I'm looking at it like personally. Now the bonsai tree is actually grown on me. I wouldn't mind one of those, but I bought the tulips and the roses for my little girls and built them. And the more I've seen this stuff and see that it definitely sells well and is going out in and out of stock or whatever, I see the definite potential on these things. And so when I saw this, whenever last week, I showed my wife, I was like, look, they got sunflowers coming next. And she's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And the funny thing is my in-laws made this, and I mean small, like, I don't know, 6 foot by 6 foot garbage garden that I just, that's not my thing. So I do nothing. I said, y'all handle it. But they had sunflowers, and man, those things just grow up and die. And I'm like, clearly we don't have the whatever we need, but yeah, I definitely want to get more of these. The sunflowers, some of these roses, I don't know, even the tulips or whatnot. But yeah, I definitely see the potential on these. Can't look at it in your own personal. I showed my mother-in-law. She loves just plants and stuff. She's the one that wanted to do this, and I'm like, you want to do it? Knock yourself out. And I showed her those flowers, and I showed her the bouquet and the bonsai tree, and she's all like, ooh, I like that bonsai tree. I've always wanted a bonsai tree. So I was like, hey, I'll get you. I didn't say this, but I was like, well, maybe I'll buy you one for Christmas. Like, I don't know. But yeah, it's neat to see that people that aren't into Lego see this and they're like, oh, that's neat. And I was like, hey, they don't die. Anyway.
And I wonder, and I don't want to go down too much of a rabbit hole with what I'm about to say, but one of the shows, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, I really don't watch TV. I don't have time to, but one of the shows that I make time for is Cobra Kai, right? And
I still need to check that out. I've heard such good things.
I was watching it when it was on YouTube Red before it even went to Netflix. But I wonder if that's if that show is going to maybe increase the demand of the bonsai tree, because it does play a role in the show, and it is just a thought.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I've heard great things, and it's one of those. I rarely have any time for TV, so I pick and choose, and I don't watch much except football. I make time for football, but I've thought about getting into that one. Obviously, watching all the Karate Kids when I was a kid, but yeah, I could totally see how the bonsai tree would definitely be in that show. Haven't seen it, but totally makes sense. But yeah, I think that these will do well, and like you said, $13. Now, I guess with any of these, I guess you do see the bonsai tree and stuff like that on Amazon. I don't. Are the roses and all that? Do they show up on Amazon too? I can't remember searching for them. I know I've seen the bouquets and stuff.
I think they do.
Okay, so these will probably be like readily available, or maybe you'll have that opportunity to get them on sale, or at some point. So, okay.
You said something interesting I didn't even think of. And you have daughters. I have one daughter. I didn't even think about getting roses and for children and have that as an activity. I think that's genius. I was just thinking, I don't know if there's just grown adults that love putting roses together.
Yeah, they're literally sitting down in a vase, on our island, and my wife kind of like she got into building it. Like, that is a stretch to get her to. She'll kind of help with certain things like the gingerbread house or something. She'll kind of help, and I'm trying to get her more into it, but I'm not gonna be pushy. And then I also like to build alone if I can, but yeah, like the bouquet, I thought about buying that because I was like, she loves flowers. She's always like, well, why don't you bring, she would like me to give her flowers more, probably like majority of ladies or somebody watching this. But I was like, well, I can get you these Lego ones and they'll never die, and we just can dust them off. And she's like, yeah, so.
Right. Sure. All right, so the next two sets I'm going to talk about, it's going to be set number 40519, the New York postcard, and set number 40520. Now, I believe there's rumors similar to the Wolverine set where they may be postponing this or canceling this, but let me tell you, I really love these sets. And, for those of you that are watching who don't know, there's artwork of these cities on these postcards that match exactly like this set. So whenever I first saw these sets, I mean, I had an immediate connection to those postcards. And I think it'll be great for people that have visited those cities and they've seen those postcards, or they've even written those postcards. I think these sets are great. It would be nice if they would do other cities like Chicago or Pittsburgh or LA or something like that.
San Francisco or something.
It would be great because there's a collectability factor too, right?
That's a darn good point.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to these sets. I hope they're not canceled. If they're postponed for a specific reason or a certain reason, I'm okay with that. But this is something, a couple years from now, I would like to look back and see, what 15 or 20 sets Lego put out of these cities. I mean, they could do Dubai, they could do all kinds of things. But this is something I'm really, really looking forward to. And I think it will do well. And I'm curious, because people like to stick to what they know and they don't like going out of their comfort zone. I think the people that grab onto these sets first, if it's going to be produced by Lego, I think that they'll look back a few years later and be celebrating that decision.
Yeah, I haven't. You just gave me good perspective, because I saw these and I was kind of like, "Oh, postcards, like what? Why would?" And I'm sometimes like, "Why would anybody want that?" But that's a good point. I haven't thought about it like a real postcard, and I was just picturing as you're talking like the New York one, and that's a good point. If you visit these cities, and they may start doing more, if these do well, do a London or a Paris or Moscow or something, whatever. I'm assuming that stands up, right? That's probably something you could put on your desk or a mantle, or somewhere you can present it just kind of like the bonsai tree or something that some, maybe you have it in your work office or something. You're not displaying a TIE fighter or a Republic gunship like myself, but this would be something that people would, and it might be a cool talking point or whatever, for people, in their office if you're having meetings or something or whatever. But now you got me thinking a little more about it. That's pretty interesting. I'm sure that however they came about, obviously New York is New York, right? That's a fairly obvious one to pick a city in America, and then you pick one in China. But that's an interesting perspective. Yeah, I'd definitely be interested to see how these turn out.
Yeah, I just hope they produce it. That's something I would love to start stockpiling. So, all right. Well, looks like enough time has passed. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Once again, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We do have 2 shows. We have Brick It Up. The odd episodes are on, of course, Wolf of Bricks. And then we have the even episodes that are on Dead Bricking, and you can catch that on Mike's channel. So once again, I am Jim. This is Mike. And we'll catch you next time.
Take care.